Well, we'll get started then, eh? Since,
Yeah.
we don't need to see Michael necessarily anyway. But so so where are we up to with your? I know you've got your. What I'd like to see is the warehouse. So like a walkthrough of the picking
Yeah.
room, but also if you can show me the rack labels.
Yeah,
Have you,
these rack levels are different, is it? Like according to the products, like we got this level has two the five products on the
yeah.
top level, and then on the bottom level you got three products sitting in. So racking levels are we adjust as per the quantities we need required. Like what are the fastest picking
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
comes first, and the which we don't pick much, it goes to the back area like at the end.
Yeah, cool. So these bin located, these barcodes here. What are these barcodes? Can you get?
This I made it for like these boxes are barcodes at the behind, so I want to know their names on this, and
Yeah,
I
but
can.
Jace, just ignore those ones. But we've got those there because we don't have a barcode on our location. That's the product barcode. But obviously we'll have location barcodes, which I've got all the labels ready to go. But we're in the process right now, moving things around and getting it done. But if I could just let you know as well, our plan is all of A, which is bottom level, we'll be picking, and all of B, which is the second level, we'll be picking.
Yeah. So just so the way that we do it is every bin location is located in is in the pick sequence. So we don't differentiate the reason why it's a pick face is if you say it's a pick face. So if for example you decided to use C because you've got a high rise picker or something, then there's no changes. You don't have to specify it's a different type of bin. You just have to say this product lives here, and it'll automatically become a picking bin. So let's have a look. So the can you walk around the warehouse then?
Yeah.
So can you just show upwards so I can see? So those are the pig grades. Can you show me how high it is?
I'm sorry, I'm just missed.
Can you show me how high it is so that I can get an idea of like how many levels have you got there?
Vicky, but don't go to that one. Go to one where you've already set up, so we know each level height.
Yep. It's about 1.2 meters of each. I probably think, or less than that.
Yeah, and how many levels up does it go?
It goes 2 levels.
Okay, so you don't have anything on that. That third level is not a location.
Storage, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, three levels in most of the warehouse and 4 levels in one aisle.
Right. Okay. Cool. All right. And so you're down by the door, if I remember rightly. Well, I can see you by the door.
Yeah.
Is that the way? Is that behind you? Is the packing bench behind you?
Yes, exactly.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I remember it now. Okay. Cool. And which way would you normally walk around the warehouse? And just show me the different zones that you've got.
Okay, this is our friend. So we walk from here. Usually near to the packing area, we choose to pick take the most selling products. We put it here so that it's easy to take it from here and leave it on the packing area to pack products.
Yeah.
So this way we walk from here. This is actually warehouse B. We choose another warehouse for A, but most of the products we move from A to B to make it easier. Like in one go, you can have everything to be picked in this B warehouse instead of going to A's.
Well, okay. We'll come back to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. And so this is all our dry sort of ambient stuff, is it?
Yes. Because it's you got like 5 products in one aisle, like in B level. So
yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
They look very similar though.
Yeah, they are similar but different names.
Yeah. Do you have picking errors with that?
Sorry?
You have picking errors currently with that, or are you using the RIT group, aren't you? So.
Yeah, RIT group.
Okay, cool. All right. So yeah, all right. And so this is we're still in. So this is warehouse A still, is it?
Yeah, warehouse B.
Warehouse B. All right.
Have you got that map by any chance handy?
Yeah, I'll have a look in a sec. I'll just watch the video. Okay, cool. And
I'm going to warehouse A.
Oh, which is actually a different physical warehouse.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
So we're only going to use warehouse A for storage.
In EXO, do you actually store them separately in different locations, or?
Yeah, so currently this area that Vicky's in at the
Yes,
moment
in
is the
Excel.
A area.
Yeah.
So in EXO, products are, you know, AA, O1A1, AB, O1A1, AC, O1A1.
Right, okay, yeah, got it, yeah.
Like we did like this is O8, so that they know what products are in here.
Just one sec, I think I'm losing you a little bit. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I see. Just a sec.
I think your
Can you share
video's
this,
gone, Vicky.
Jason?
Yeah, his video's gone.
Just,
Yeah, your video's just gone, Vicky.
So
Can
but
you hear
in
me?
Excel, oh yeah, there we go. Right. So back to it. So this is yeah. Okay, so this is AA.
Yep. And this is
And when are those racking labels? Are those racks that you're on there? Are they open ended, or could you not walk around the other side?
Nah,
No.
one end.
only one end.
Yeah. Okay.
Just show him the back, Vicky.
Yes, there's another project.
Ah, yeah, gotcha.
So they are one face picking.
And is that a pallet going in or going out? These pallets that you've got in front of you.
These ones,
Yeah.
yeah, they just came in, so they are he's replenishing the forklift guy wants to replenish and put on their level like in C's.
Yeah. Okay.
They are like storage.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm going to take you to a control room.
Yeah.
These are our racking set up in our cold room.
Sorry, what?
This is how our rackings are set up in our cold room, like according to the product. This level got again for 4 products in it. This got 3 levels, 3 products in it.
So do you do a lot of splitting of products? I noticed there's some half-empty boxes. Do you sell a combination of full boxes and bits of boxes?
Yes.
And how do you have to you repack everything though, don't you?
Yes, we do pack them into again different cartons. Like if some customer orders with 10 units and take that and put it in a different box.
Yeah.
Mix and match. Yeah.
And when you get your pick lists, do your pick lists have everything in eaches?
Sorry, Jason, I just missed
Do your pick lists have everything in eaches? So if someone's ordered, if you've got a carton of 10,
yeah,
does it say you need 10
units? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Actually, I can show you while I was picking an order so that you'll get an exact idea.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we either do that or you can create an own video that would be good quality.
Okay. Okay, I can send you a video of quality and so that you can raise the questions in emails.
I can send you a link of one that I did yesterday. I picked, so you can see the kind of things that we get out of it. We sort of followed it through a different kind of customer, but I'll send you a link to a video.
Okay.
If you sort of like, well, you can see what I'm doing. I'm saying, well, this is a pick slip. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing next. I'm putting it in here. This is I'm take it back here and I do this. So I'll send you the video of that.
Okay. Anyway, our guy is ready to go. So I'll show you an example like how do we pick in our guns.
Yeah.
Okay, these are our guns.
Yeah.
When you open a customer's order, you can see the lines like with the bin locations.
Yeah.
And description of the product, quantity, and picked quantity.
Yeah.
When our picker goes pick and products,
Yeah.
just walk through it. Scans it.
So at the moment, Jace, there's no scanning of the bin location. It's just a product.
Yeah, well, you don't need to scan the bin location hours unless you want to. Unless you want to change the bin. We'll always tend to do, well, I'll show you what we do. But yeah, you don't necessarily need to scan the bin for picking, because if it's going to a pick face and there's something in it, then it will say go to the pick face. You can change it and go to a different location. But if it doesn't have any in the pick face, it'll show you where it is, if it's anywhere, of course. So yeah. So when you scan it,
Yes.
he only wants one. It just automatically assumes one. And if he wants more, does it make him enter the quantity?
Yeah, no, when he scans this, for example, this product has a barcode on it. It says 12 inside it. If he wants 12, he scans this outer one. Or else if he wants individual, he scans individual items again.
Right. So does it have a recorded barcode of the outer one as well?
Yeah, yes, this system has that.
Okay. So what? How do you get that from EXO? Is there some kind of mod to say a pack is this big?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I think there's basically 3 levels of barcodes you can put into EXO. There's the EAN, TUN, and then there's another one, which I'm not sure what that's for.
yeah. Well, you've got each inner and outer, really.
Yes, we got an individual and outer as well.
So there's each. And how do you know in EXO? We'll have to look at it. How do you know what's in and how much is in and a TUN?
Is it outer? Look at this size.
There's a section in EXO where it asks you how many units per carton as a standard.
I don't think it's standard, but yeah. Units per carton. Right, okay, I'll look at that. It's very difficult to know what's standard and what's not in EXO. I don't think I've seen one that's standard. It's a bit like watching one of those sort of Wolf Creek films, isn't it?
Yes.
And is that your chiller or freezer or something?
Just a freezer. We got 5 freezers at the moment.
Okay. And has the freezer got racks in it, or is it just basically?
We got
Yeah.
And this freezer has 2 products in it. Another freezer has 2 products in another freezer has 3 products in it. So we divided the products into the freezer.
So you don't do a huge amount of frozen goods, but you do some. Did you have a chiller there as well? I didn't notice that.
Sorry, Jason. Due to background noises, it's not very clear.
That's all right. Do you have a chiller as well?
Yes.
Okay. Doesn't matter. You don't need to take me in. I can see this free.
This is how he picks complete order into his trolleys, mixing the products, and he then packs into different different cartons, mixing these different products, and he condenses them into to reduce our transportation cost. He condenses this whole order into 3 boxes, or depending on the product, customer or quantities.
And are you just picking single orders at a time?
Yeah, single order at a time.
We've done some manual batch picking in the past, Jace, where the guys have realised that there's orders that are a couple of lines each, that they could do one lap and pick all of them. But we did that manually, so we would print pick slips. Yeah.
So you'd have some reasonable benefits from wave picking, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, shit. Yeah. Because we've got orders that are literally like 4 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines, and they could all have the same product. You literally would need to pick one carton of each of those products, and you've picked 5 orders at once.
Yeah.
And look at this, Jason. The products are like this customer. We are trying to reduce our transportation costs, so we are trying to scrap these products together
Yeah.
and label this as one carton.
Yeah.
This is how our packing area works. Here is how you got 6 boxes here. So we scrap them together and make it into like one box to reduce our transportation.
Yeah. And transportation's all by. And how do you register them as one pack?
Sorry.
How do you?
Showing the packing
you've got
screen,
screens,
Vicky.
haven't you?
Packing screen. Okay. This is our packing screen, Jason.
Yeah.
And this is how we, like, for example, she's packing veal stock, vegetable stock, and beef stock into one box.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So she's got 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, 3 lines into one box, and then again, this 18 units of this potato gnocchi and 18 units of esiago gnocchi. That's complete. This carton been made into a second label.
So our system prints the labels at the end, Jace.
Yes.
So once they've put all these numbers in, they'll hit complete order, and then the amount of labels they need will come out, and they'll put it on each box.
And once I click here, print carton, then you can see the labels coming out.
Yeah. Okay. What are the labels? So can you send me a picture of the labels later on?
Sure.
Okay.
Can you see it clearly, or do you want me to take a picture?
No, I can see clearly.
Yep.
Oh yeah, send me a photo anyway. It should be fine.
Yep. Okay.
I can pause the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how do you arrange your orders? So your orders come in. So you pick in that order. How do you know who to give it to? How do you know who's taking that order?
Like in Guns, it shows which state it's going to. Like we got a deadlines. This time, for example, at 11 o'clock, we have to dispatch New South Wales. At the time, truck will be here. So the guys, when they come in at 8:30, they start doing New South Wales first. That's their first priority. This is how our system works. Like we got a due timings. By 1 p.m. we have to dispatch New South Wales, and 3 p.m. we have to dispatch Victoria. And the following after that time, they'll pick SA for tomorrow morning's pickup. It's around 8:30, so they'll do it like in pre or one day before, so we can dispatch on time. Yeah. And this is our Guns. I think so. It's not so clear.
I can't see it.
Yeah. So when you open this, you'll have individual states. Let me flip the camera. Can you see the states here?
Oh yeah.
So this is how they pick. Once they pick all these New South Wales, they will put on a separate pallet. It's completely all New South Wales on one pallet.
Okay.
So and this packer takes that pallet and he packs it and puts on the same pallet.
Okay. So you're doing state runs effectively.
Yeah.
Yes. And do you have any other types of runs? So do you have people come and collect stuff, or? Yes.
Yeah. It comes as pickup here. In the state location, it says a pickup. Can you see here? It's a line saying pickup. Yes.
Oh yeah, pickup. Yeah.
And if something else is our driver is doing our deliveries or something else like that, you'll see RMD. That's raw material driver doing this.
Okay. And so you've got driver runs as well?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And are there any other things around your creating a dispatch that we would know about? I mean, does it all automatically just flow through from Excel? I mean, it's just a state. But where's the pick, RMD, and New South Wales Victoria come from? Is there a transport setting or something?
Yeah, the sales guys will put that in when they enter the order. They'll select a dispatch type.
Yeah, I'll show it here for you. Like, for example, this is how our order screen looks like. When sales guy enters an order, it comes up here.
Yeah.
And when you click on this, an individual order, like let me open this order and see. And you'll have a ship via.
Okay, so it's ship via.
Yep. So we can select it from, okay, it's going to New South Wales from Metro, or like we can select this. If someone pick up, we can pick it and select as pick up.
And there's quite a number on there. Do all those get used, or are you?
Nah, they're all old. There's a lot of old ones there.
And in XO, when you open the same customer account, you'll have a pre-filled column saying that this has to be definitely shipped by New South Wales Metro all times.
Yeah. Okay, so but it is on the sales order that it's going to come through from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Can someone send me a list of the ones that you want to use?
Yep. Leave that with me. Yep.
Yeah.
So if you're integrating XO, do you still want to add up this list, or can
Well,
you?
yeah, because you still there's no point changing something that works. If it's distributed by someone who makes the decision, like we can't tell, for example, if it's a pickup or a local delivery.
Okay.
Like, so someone needs to, the salesperson's in the best position to say, oh, you're going to come and fetch it, right? I'll just flag it as pickup.
Okay. So can we change this in our website, like what we are using on the base of this host? Can we use in that, or do we need to go back into XO and open it and just change it over there?
No, you can change it in XO after it's come in, but it's like presetting the delivery method.
Okay. For example, if one customer orders, he wants to get the delivery and he changes his mind after later on once we pick this in our guns. If he changes his mind, is there any chance like we can able to change it on our WMS system, or do we need to go back to XO and change it?
You mean change the date?
Yeah, and no, via like he wants to pick up.
The dispatch method.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, yeah. You can, but you can also just say come and fetch it and then just deliver it to him. So you're not restricted to, like, if he turns up, if he changes his mind before you've picked it. So if you're picking it or something.
Okay.
Right, you're going to have to go through the picking and the packing process, right? Because you started, and so you've got to follow the rules of the run, which are that you have to strap it up. If they phone up before you've started, you just drag it onto a pickup run, and we will just probably set it to just have to get picked and not have to go through any packing, because there's no point having to pack something.
Okay. So it's not real-time update, like this gun won't interact on real-time. It's already preloaded and then later when it starts its job, or when it changes something in between, like when they are picking, it won't automatically update that. Is that right?
Well, it won't change what you have to do. It can change what they require. So if you've picked, well, it depends on how we configure it, because it depends on how XO would deal with it. But for example, we can, if you want to, if someone orders 10 of something and they phone up and they say I only want 5,
yeah.
Even if you've already picked it, we can change it to 5, but it will show as an overpick. And then it's up to the warehouse whether they go in and change it back to 5 again or not. But that means that the ERP has to allow us to put it back up to 10. Because if it's not convenient for you to then go back and take those 5 tins of beans out,
okay,
then we still need to know that you did deliver the 10 tins of beans, but you're not going to pull an entire pallet apart to find some beans in the middle of it and then have to go through and re-shrink wrap it and redo it. You're just going to send it out and say it was too late to change.
Okay. Or else it's like a double handling, I think. So like when customer orders 10 units and our speaker started picking 10 units and he changes his mind and he wants only 5, he has to go and put back those 5. So I don't want doing that. Is that any other chance like we can do it in real time? This gun should automatically update the whole screen before he bring everything back to pick a back up.
Well, yeah, it will do before he brings it back. But if he has to look at it to see that. I mean, if someone changes it in the background and he's in the middle of going through the picking process, yes, it's not necessarily going to see that the pick's changed. And what we do is we load the pick information onto the device when they pick it. So when he picks up the pick, we'll load it onto the device so that it doesn't have to keep going back every 5 seconds to the and if you've got a black spot, it's not going to drop out and stuff. So really, and well, the ideal thing is that it gets locked when he starts picking it. You go, right, I've
Yeah.
started picking it now. You can't make any changes. It does get a bit complicated.
Okay. And what about our sales team? Does they know that this order has already been picked? So we need to let the warehouse know this quantity has been updated. Is there any column they can visibly see that this item's been picked, this item's been tagged?
Well, as soon as you've picked it, so you can see they can see the vector when they're picking it.
Yeah.
But as soon as you close the pack, it's going to update Excel straight away. So
It's not per pick, it's when you close it.
As soon as you close the pack, it's going to go and update Excel and supply it.
Okay.
And move it to the next phase.
Can I ask a question, Jace?
Yeah.
With the status, like currently the way our system works is once the guys have opened the order in the gun, the status in EXO changes from order to pick in process.
So that's the kind of thing that we would do. We just need to know what that flag is.
Yeah, okay, beautiful. Yeah, so it's pick in process is when a person has started picking, so they were opened an order. And then we've got, what's the other one, Vicky?
Pack confirmed, so that the packer has been confirmed this order. So you can't change any quantities, right?
Can we have more than those statuses, Jace? Can we have picking completed and packing started, or?
Potentially, yeah. I don't see why not. I mean, is it we would generally update it when we start picking, that's for sure. And that would be when we would like it to be locked. But it's up to you. And then once we finish picking, well, it depends how you do the picking. It depends if you pick and pack at the same time. You can't pick and pack at the same time because you can't shrink wrap. You can't straps while you're going. So we possibly could when the pick is completed.
Can I ask you a question, Jason? Like right now, you saw how we are working right now. Like we pick it and then go back to the packer. Is there any other chance we can do everything at once? Like for instance, one customer ordered 3 lines of 3 cartons and one with mixed goods. So the picker should have an idea like, okay, I can print 3 labels and the 4th label go back to the packer. He can mix all goods and pack safely without any. If there's a fragile goods, he should bubble wrap it and just put it in the 4th label goes under that box. Is there any other chance we can pre-print the labels?
Well, I don't think you can pre-print the labels for the way that you strap them together because I don't know how many boxes necessarily you're going to put in one strap.
So we can manually override it, like.
Yeah, you can. You specify how many you want to do. You say if you need 10 cartons or something, right? You might strap 4 together and then another 4 together and then another 2 together with something else, right? It's entirely up to you how you configure it. We do pre-printed carton labels, but those are mostly where you're going to label each individual carton.
Okay.
So some customers do that. So if they've got full cartons, they'll go and print off the labels, and then they'll stick the labels on, and it'll say 1 of 3 and 2 of 3, whatever, for the customer. In this case, we're going to print packs. We're going to generate pack labels afterwards. Okay. So it'll print a sticker off, and we print them off usually as you go in. So as soon as I've finished, I'll strap these 4, press print, stick it on, put it to the side, right? So it won't tell you how many of, but it does have a barcode on it. If you scan the barcode, it'll tell you what's in the pack and who it's for and, that kind of stuff. So everything's sort of labelled up and ready to go. Just need to work on status. Sorry, I'm just writing down before I forget what we talked about before. Okay, so look, I think your picking process will be you go and pick it, you bring it over to the thing, you strap it, print a label on it, you put it to the side. I think where we can really get some benefits is by wave picking.
Okay.
I mean, you can wave pick as many orders as you want, really. I mean, you don't have to think about, because what you do is you bring back a heap of products, and then when you go to the packing screen, it will say, right, of all the products you've got here, customer one needs these. Stick it all together, put it to the side, right? And you just keep going through the screen, and you should have an empty pallet at the end of it. So C lanes, for example, they'll pick 25 orders at once, but they'll go through and they separate out cartons and splits because it's slightly different.
Can I ask a question, Jace?
Yeah.
During the picking process of a wave pick, does the picker know which order? Like, say he's picking 5 orders at the same time. When he picks his first item, does he know which order out of those 5 it's going into? Could he potentially pick into 5 separate cartons?
Not on that screen. He can see in a Vexo which ones he's picking for. So I know that on this pick I've got these 5 orders.
Yeah.
But it doesn't tell me. It just says you need to get 10 of these. Right? It could be 2 for customer 1, 5 for customer 2, and whatever.
Yeah.
So it just combines it.
You're just saying I need 10 in order to go to the packing stage. I need 10. So I take it to the packing stage, and then it'll say, right, customer 1 wants 2, strap it. Customer 2 wants 5, strap it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got it.
He doesn't necessarily. He doesn't know by looking at the screen who he's picking for. He just knows that he needs 10.
Okay.
If he wants to find out what it is possible because we've got on our overview screen. You can see the orders and you can drill into the orders and you can see what's been picked of it so far.
Gotcha. Because the way I sort of thought it would work, and it might not be what I'm thinking, is say the picker's he's got 4 orders, just to simplify it. He's going around with his pallet jack. Yeah, say this item, there's 5 in his first order and 5 in his second order, so he needs 10. So I would have thought the system would tell him, right, pick 5, put it down, and then pick another 5 of the same thing, but put it next to it because it's not together.
No, well, that's not wave picking. That's just picking. Let's separate out wave picking. So that's wave picking is I need 10, stick them on there. Get the next thing, stick it on there. Get the next thing, stick it on there. Right. Picking multiple orders together, which is also possible, is what you're saying. It'll say, right, pick 5. Right, now pick another 5. Right.
For your next box. Yeah.
So you've got both options, but I think that if you're going to go around that, just saying I need 10 is probably the most efficient way of doing it. Because when he gets back and he drops it, and then you say, right, I'm going to start packing. Does a separate person pack to who picked?
Yes.
Generally, yeah, but it's going to cause confusion for them if they've got 50 units of one item there, and they only need 5 for this order, 2 for this order, 3 for this order.
It's going to cause confusion for about 5 minutes until they get used to it. Because what they're going to realise is they're going to have a packing screen, but it's not going to be just. It's going to be a packing screen with a drop down that says you've got 5 customers here, or 4 customers in your example, right? So the first customer says you need 2, they go and strap 2, right? They just strap what it sees. As long as they follow the instructions on the screen, it says you need 2 of these, right? Beep. Then they strap it. Then it goes to the next. Sorry.
I forgot to mention something else. Like whenever we put on this pallet, for example, this order, when it goes onto this pallet, we write in name on it like New South Wales on order number 237, for example. Yeah. And when you open the pack screen, you'll see 237. So the packer knows, okay, these all items go to this customer, and he can straight away do that.
Yeah, that's fine if you want to continue to do that.
Yep.
But what we're talking about here is you might just want to type in, New South Wales, and the name of the bulk pick on it, if at the top right, whatever. If you get a packet later, the packer just picks it up, and it comes up with the packing screen. So I'm packing this bulk pick. I'm going to pack, right? Okay. So they just select the bulk pick and they say pack, and what it'll do is it'll pop up on the screen, right? And it'll say on the right hand side, it'll say customer 1, and left hand side it's got the pack, and then they scan it into the pack, right? So when they scan it into the pack, it'll then say, right, you need 2, right? So then it says you've got your 2, right? Yeah. Then it'll strap it. Then they put it down. They print a label, stick it on there, and they put it on the pallet, the New South Wales pallet. Then in the next product they'll do, or whatever. Then when they finish doing that customer, the list on the right will be empty because they've packed it, right? Okay. They click next customer, and then the next customer's products will display. But they're taking it off the same pallet because all they're doing is repacking what's on there. So they don't really need the system tells them what the order is for. When it prints the label off, it'll print off all the details that you want. So it really depends on the cancel that. It really depends on how you do it. But to me, because your products are easy to identify, that's a really efficient way of doing it. That's the C-lens model, effectively.
I'm going to be honest, Jace. I'm not sure if that's going to benefit us, mate, because our warehouse isn't that big.
Yeah.
We don't need to bring half of the orders to the pack bench to repick them again. I would prefer them to pick 4 orders at once, and then they come to the pack bench.
You can bulk pick 4 orders at once. Or
I much prefer to do it that way. Yeah.
But you can wave pick 4 orders. What you're saying, you can do it 2 ways. You can say select order 1, 2, 3, 4. Go and pick them.
Yep.
Right? And then you have to scan the product. Select 2. Scan it again. Select 2. Scan it again. Select 5. Right. Mm-hmm. Or you can say, I want to wave pick those 4 orders, and I just want to walk around and get the product and bring it back. I suppose it's a suck it and see. We'll start off with selecting multiple orders and going and picking them separately. And then you can decide to try wave picking it later on.
Yep, sounds good. Yep.
Yeah. Can I ask you something else? If 2 pickers are picking wave picking orders, like for example, he took 5 orders, he took 5 orders, they brought in their pallets together by the packing area, and the packer will be like, which pallet I'm packing?
Oh yeah, you're always going to have that problem if you have to. You're always going to have that problem unless you put some kind of pick to pallet.
Well, they'd pick onto their own pallet, I would guess, and not mix their two wave picks together on one pallet.
You don't. No, you can't. You can't. You're ruining it if you pick in a wave pick onto another wave pick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because then you got to pick it all again.
That's definitely going to be confusing.
Yeah.
You've got to pick. You got 1 pick on 1 pallet. Someone drops it there. You know which pick it is. You're fine. If someone goes and then puts a heap of other stuff on it, well, that's just that's mental. That's just
it's a mistake.
That's going to cause you all sorts of problems.
So there's no chance of 2 pickers picking wave picking orders.
There's no chance of 2 pickers picking the same order.
No.
You can have multiple ways.
Vicky, you're not understanding, brother. What he's saying is that if you've got 2 pickers picking 5 orders, they're not going to pick them onto the same pallet.
Yes,
he'll pick them on this pallet, and he'll pick them on this pallet. This one will go to one packer, and this one will go to a different packer.
Exactly. I'm saying the same thing. Goes to different packers, and when you open the pack screen, you'll have a list of orders, like 10 orders in there.
Yeah.
And how do you select?
Because the packing is by the wave pick, not by what's being picked altogether.
Okay.
I think I know what you're saying, Vicky. I think I know what he's saying. So when you produce a wave pick, does that give it gives you an ID, like a wave pick ID?
Well, yeah, it's consolidating the pick. So you basically got 4 orders. I go out and pick my 4 orders and I bring it back and drop it there. The person picks up that wave pick and it's only going to show them that 4 orders, regardless of how many other wave picks you've got going on.
But what does he put on that pallet for the packer to identify that what they're looking at on the screen?
Well, you can just write down the name of the pick.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Yeah, gotcha. So it'll give him an ID number, which the packer will look in his screen. He'll look at the pallet. There's that pallet that I'm packing. Yep.
Yeah. That sounds good. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But we'll start with the simple, and then you can expand into it. I mean, a lot of people do that. They start with just normal single order picking or picking a couple of orders together or whatever, and that's fine. And then they'll get to wave picking as soon as you realise that it's better. If it is better, again, it depends on the product mix. But in food service, the product lends itself to wave picking because it's reasonably easy to identify. There's quite a lot of barcoding. Not all, of course. I did notice that you've got those boxes that have just got a little tick in what flavour it is. Those are always a pain. But there's not a lot you can do about that unless you label each one yourself or force your supplier to label it. So those are the different types of picking. So I know it's not like there's any extra configuration. If you want to wave pick it, you just change the run type to a wave pick run.
Okay.
And we've got a few different ways of doing it. Do you ever get any pallet picks? Do you ever get any full pallet orders?
Yes, we do get. Like one customer, he needs one product with full pallet order, so we do such type of picks as well.
Okay. And so, do you want to be able to basically with pallet picking, rather than strapping it at the end, you just register a pallet number, and then when you
Yes.
close it, you just say how much it weighs, if you need to, how big it is, and then it prints one sticker off, and you put the sticker on the pallet.
Yeah.
So when you come to dispatching it, it says, well, it'll always come down to how many packs you've got. And to me, a pack and a pallet are no different. It's just a pallet's a really big pack.
We usually right now we just fix supplied, like we supply it. It won't come to packer. It goes onto the wrapping machine, wrap it, and we'll stick a label on it like this going to this customer, this whole pallet. So we're doing that way.
Yeah, so that's similar to what we'll do now, but you build it. So if you've got a customer that orders 3 pallets, 2 of them are just from the, basically you can pick them directly out of the racking. So Avex will come up and say, if there's a pallet pick, it'll come up and say, here's all your pallets. If you need a full pallet. So these are all the pallets you've got of this product. And this one or this one and this one are the ones you should take. So we're based on the date code, right? So it'll tell you which one to take. Then you just go and pick it directly from the bin location, rather than moving it down and, so you take it from where it is in the warehouse.
Okay.
That will mean that your stock will be accurate. And if you're just picking from the, if they've got a pallet pick, but it's just basically a collection of a lot of different products, then you just pick onto a pallet and you just register it. You say, here's a pallet sticker, you put a license plate on it, and then you just basically say everything's on this license plate, and when you get to the end, you close the license plate and it'll print one sticker off, and when you scan it, it'll tell you what's on it.
Okay.
And then once you've closed the pack, you can still reopen it and change it right up until the point where you close the last pack. So if you've got 5 packs on an order, changes can be made until you close that last one. Once you close the last pack, we're going to go forward and update EXO. Unless you've got a dispatch step. I don't know if you want to touch on that now. Are you planning to use any form of dispatch? Like sign on glass or...
Like what, sorry, Jace?
Like POD. So are you wanting, so say a customer comes and does a pickup, are you wanting to get a signature from them or anything like that?
Yes.
I know you can't do that with orders that are being delivered by your couriers as such. But certainly orders that you do yourself, or orders that you're getting dispatched out of the warehouse because someone's picking it up. You might get a POD. So the point at which we update EXO is up to you. We update EXO usually after the order's ready to go, which is usually after it's been picked and packed. But we can hold it off until it's been dispatched if you want to have a dispatch step. But then often people have a dispatch step, but then they'll still want it invoiced before it goes, right? Because they're delivering it to the customer. They want to deliver an invoice with it, which means we have to have updated it prior to the delivery. Delivery happens after invoicing.
Yeah.
Well, I think for us at the moment, invoicing is the last stage because we only invoice on the same day as we dispatch. So.
Yeah, well, we'll set it up to whatever it needs to be set to.
Yep.
I need to speak to Jason Ransby about how we do that.
Can I ask you a quick question, Jace?
Yeah.
Just in regards to PODs, if we had we've got a truck driver who delivers to customers, if he needs to use the system to get signatures, will he need an entire new license just to get PODs?
He'll need a delivery license, which is like $50 a month, $49.
A delivery license. Okay.
So he can do delivery and he can scan anything, but he can't do picking or anything.
Okay.
Effectively, he just goes around and delivers it, and you just use I generally just use an iPhone for it. He just goes and selects it. It just tells him which packs that he needs to get. So it'll say pack number. It's got a pack number. So instead of saying pack 1 of, he'll say this. He'll show him on the screen. There's 4 packs, and it'll say, and the pack numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and he selects them, and then you can customize the form as to what you want to collect. Commonly, of course, it will say what was the temperature of the vehicle at the time,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
And then what was the name of the person receiving it and what signature. But you can use it to collect whatever information you want. It's up to you.
Cool.
But commonly in food, temperature, signature, temperature, name, and signature are pretty common.
Okay.
Yep.
Or confirmed number of packs. Pretty obvious which number of packs it is. So, yeah.
Cool. All right.
All right. So with the warehouse racking, can I share? Let me just see if I can find that.
I've just sent you an updated version too.
What did you?
It'll be the bottom one. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this is this B and A and B?
So A is on your left, C is the chiller, B is next to the chiller, and then you got D down the bottom.
Okie dokie. Oh yeah, is that the packing bench?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we went there, and then we went through there into there. Yeah. And then that's the shipping container.
Yep.
And the chiller.
Yep.
All makes sense. So so what we want to do with this, so these ones here, so DAL4A1. Where's O1? Or have you?
Just for that particular one, because it's only one pallet space there, so that one only has A1. Just O4.
Okay, so what we need to do is we need to have a picking sequence. Right? So we've got DA04A1. So DA is the aisle, O4 is the bay.
A is the level, and the last number is the position.
So A1 and you might have A1 and A2, like in this one.
Yeah, but there's no that last one, DA04, is one single pallet. It's not inside a rack, so it just gets its own A1, and that's it.
Right. Okay. So 5. Oh, right. So this is one Dexin racking bit.
Yeah.
Right. Got it. So what we need to do is we need to have the above levels in it. So let me just see if I can find a.
I've got a spreadsheet with every level in it.
Yeah. So what I do normally. So here's a picking sequence. I mean, these are all the bins, but you'll notice that it's got 1, 2. Well, I think got 2, 1, 3, 5 different. It's basically going up and showing me everything right up to the top. Because what we want to do is get an idea of where every single bin is in the warehouse, and we know.
Just click on product bin, pick bins, Jace, down the bottom. So that's all your pick bins with every single item located.
Yeah, cool. That's cool.
And then your next tab, all bins, is every single bin in the warehouse.
Okay, and is this in order so that I can see what's above it? So,
Yep.
So basically, it's got the level.
If you have a look at A1, O1, A1, so AA, O1, A1, and A2, that's not a rack. So that's again only one level, just A's.
So
AA, Yeah, and from there you can see you've got up to sea level, and then you've got up to D level on some parts of the
Yeah, cool. All right, and that's the pick sequence that you follow.
Yep.
Oh, superb. Easy then. That's my so spreadsheet. Okay, well I can get that set up. And then product pick bins. Is that product pick bin thing? Is that stored in Excel as well?
That's what I need to ask you is some of them are, some of them aren't. I'm more than happy and easy for me to update all of EXO to these locations.
No,
do I need to do that?
We can do it. We can do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I don't need to do it, it'd be great not to do it.
We can do it as long as we've got it right, and then we update it back. Because what we can do is keep it in sync.
Yep.
So when you do a pick bin change in Excel, for example, you reorganize it. We will go into EXO and update EXO so that you know where it is in there as well.
Yep.
So, or you know where the pick bin is anyway. Obviously, we don't tell them where all the storage locations are. So let me just start thinking about what we're going to do to get it set up. So we've already set up the instance. I haven't done anything with it yet because I need locations. So create locations. So you've only got one warehouse. Right? You've only got one warehouse in Excel. I've got to get access to Excel. That's the first thing, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So, which I've asked a couple of questions before. So, I need to get access to the database. Once I've got access to the database, create the locations, and then I'm going to import the information. I'm going to import inventories effectively. Then I'm going to set the pick faces based on your spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Just
Then I'm going to get you
other
to check
thing.
it.
Sorry, Jace. Vicky, that latest location thing that I've just sent to Jason that you've got, have you guys made a lot of changes to that as you're going along and moving
Yes,
things?
we did.
You did?
Yeah.
When do you think you'll be able to have...
For the last minute, we'll get it back from you.
Oh, yeah, at the last minute. Oh, yeah.
I'm not
So
going to
we've got
load it
plenty
from
of time.
here. I'm going to ask you for a new one because it might be a week down the track or something.
Yeah, gotcha.
And I have a new version of and we might even, and at that point, once we get to that point and we load it in there, what I think you should do is we'll immediately turn on update in Excel for pick faces.
Yeah.
And then if you want to do any locating, you will actually use a Vexel to locate it. And then we'll update Excel.
Yeah.
Update the spreadsheet, right?
Gotcha.
Then turn on pick faces. We will also, when we've done the importing, so once we've got the locations, you'll be able to scan the locations. Have you got barcodes for those, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, I've sent you a another file there in that last email.
Did you print off? So have you printed them off, and are you going to label them up?
Yeah, we'll. Yeah, I've printed only one sheet at the moment, just as an example, just to to play around with. That's what they're going to look like.
Oh, right, yeah. Cool.
But yeah, once Vicky's finished moving things around and getting it to a stage where how we want it, then the next stage is labeling everything up.
Oh, it's a PDF.
Oh, sorry, Jace, I've sent you the map, not the bloody.
Yeah. That's right. I thought it looked like a map.
It's not a label. One sec, mate. I'll just send you the labels just so you can have a look at them. Yep, that should be coming through to you now.
I heard my watch buzz, so I'm sure that's it. see you send it through?
Yeah, it's definitely sent. I'll just check my sent box. Yeah, no, it should be coming. It's weird.
How many minutes is? No. Right. There we go. Yeah. So if I just can't change. No, it's not on. Oops. So you can see that that barcode's picked up.
Beautiful. I did test this before I went ahead and
Before
did
you
all
print
this.
them off.
Yeah.
Yeah. All good. All good. Right. So how's that? So just so that you know, what we'll do with the so once we've got it all set up, so we'll go through and you're going to scan anything, and you'll scan the location, make sure it comes up. Right? You'll scan the products to make sure that they come up. Right? But if you want to do when we do the pig face changes, so we're going to change pig faces, and then you just scan the item.
Okay.
It tells you where it is,
Mm-hmm.
and you say I want to move it to 2C1.
Okay.
You scan 2C1 and click confirm. And if there's any on hand, which obviously at the beginning there probably won't be, it'll say, do you want to move the on hand as well? Right. And then that product's pig face is changed. I think that's the wrong one.
And so the next time that item comes in, it knows that my pig face is now that new one.
Yeah, correct. So it does two things. It updates all the pics that are currently out there, and it updates anything that's coming through. When you go and have a look at scan anything, is it MO3? Nope, that's MO4. Too quick. Do you see it's gone 2C1 now?
Ah, yep.
So the pig face is always yellow.
Ah, beautiful. Yeah.
But when
Awesome.
you see anything where we're going to tell it to, if you're trying to pick, I said that if someone wants a full palette, it's not going to tell you to go to pig face because you probably won't have a full palette there anyway.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
It'll give you a stream like this, and the green one is where you should go.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to one of these ones, it'll say you shouldn't do that because these are all in date order.
Ah, yep. That's awesome.
With the newest ones first, or the oldest ones. The ones that's going to. It depends on how you set your products up. Do you have batch tracking or not?
We don't. We'd like to probably use date tracking.
Well,
Best before dates.
we can do date tracking just by entering a date when it's received, and it will just follow it through to the pig face. But it's more of a it's fine. It will follow it through, but it doesn't actually force you to say what date you sent out. All it does is make sure that use it to track things into the pig face.
Yep.
It doesn't do anything else. It doesn't make you do it. Or you can do certain products. You can do what we call batches date. So we actually create a batch code for it based on the date. And if you do that, then you can change the dates in the locations and you specify, fix them at batch level, at date code level. You really care about them. But Avexo will rotate everything based on, out of the box for normal products that you're gonna, that don't expire quickly. It will rotate them by when they were received.
Cool. Yep.
So if that's good enough for you, that's the simplest way. If it's not good enough because you've got some really date sensitive stuff, then we'll we'll do batches date. But probably doing it in Avexo only, maybe, because otherwise I don't think you can change your product in Exo to be batch tracked. You have to basically create a new code or go through a process of writing everything off, then changing it, then writing it back on again.
Yeah, I don't think there's a need for it in Exo anyway. The guys in here don't need that. It's only the warehouse guys when they're picking.
Yeah, it's only to make sure you're picking the right stuff.
That's
so
it.
We can decide that because we can do it as a test and then say, well, I don't want to do that, and then back that out. So yeah, we can do that. So batches date for certain products, unless you want to do it for everything. So if you've got a list of example products you want to try batches date for, just send me a couple of products.
Yeah, I can do that.
Which is date sensitive, and then
There's a couple of dairy ones.
We'll set them up as batches date. Dairy, because that allows you to fix mistakes that have been made. So everybody tries to do their best when they receive it, but if someone puts an extra month on it where they shouldn't have done, then you need to be able to fix that to make it fall back into its place in the queue. Otherwise, it's going to expire.
Yep.
I think that is it.
Yes.
What's that? So, are there any? I think the next thing for me is to get access to Exo, and then import this information. So I'll get those locations imported. Is that location list final?
It's the product. Which product is in which
not
location is not final?
Not the product.
Just the locations.
This one here.
Yeah.
Is this final?
Yeah.
Cool. I'd say so, Jace. I mean, it's hard to say before we start fully move everything around. I don't really know if there's going to be a fourth level on some of these or not. I doubt it.
Yeah, doesn't matter. You can add them later.
Yeah, I was going to say, if it's not hard.
Is it good enough to start with? We're not going to get things where you're going, oh, this bin doesn't exist. I can't move it into these bins. It's basically, this is the list that you've generated the labels from.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, if you go off that for now, yep.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. Good. So what I might do is I've started a board here. I might actually invite you guys to join it. If I do that. I'll work it out. I've got to basically allow you to join it, and basically you log in and you can see, and we can comment and stuff on the different sections. So we can define how it works. I'll write up the picking process, for example, just before we go on to the next, before we finish, I suppose, with this one, because I think pretty good, is the receiving process. So do you currently receive, what kind of mix do you receive? Do you receive stuff in containers? Do you receive stuff in pallets, palletized blocks? I saw you had those pallets in the aisle. And do you receive like small batches of stuff, like, a few boxes here that you basically just replenish straight to the pick face? What kind of mix of products do you get?
Sorry, Vicky, I'll just take over for a sec. I guess it depends on the supplier, Jace. We get orders for 20 pallets that arrive. We get orders for 20 cartons that arrive. It's really wide mix. We get containers as well. Plus, we also have a third-party storage location in Truganina, which we store our frozen stuff at, which we transfer into in Melbourne as we need it.
And how are you wanting to manage the third-party storage?
The third party. Look, in EXO, it's another location. So we've got Melbourne warehouse, Sydney warehouse, and we've got third-party warehouse, which is another location in
So the
in
warehouse.
EXO. But in all honesty, I can't see an issue with us just creating a warehouse location called 3PL and keeping it in there.
No, that's what we would do. Yeah. Stop that. Start again. So your warehouses. So you're going to create a warehouse location mapped to this one. So so warehouse 1 is what do you would you do that? And you've got another warehouse, have you?
Yeah, so we've got warehouse A, which is the one that we're not picking out of, which is just storage.
Okay, can we create those? Can we have those as one warehouse in the next one?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
is there
sure.
a need for you to separate them out? I mean,
No.
do you have to transfer stock between A and B all the time then?
No, we don't. No, we don't do that. We just need the bin set up. So when we do a replenishment out of A into B, it'll just be a replenishment.
Okay, good. Right. So we're going to ignore it. So you've got warehouse 1, and then you've got the third-party warehouse.
Yeah.
What number is that?
In EXO, it's set up as number 5, I think.
Yeah.
What about interstate, Mike?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about this because every state has their own location in EXO.
So what do you mean?
So there's a Melbourne location, there's a Sydney location.
Do you have a warehouse there?
No, well, it's not physically, just in the system. Like if
what do you
we've got, say we've got a rep in Sydney who has some stock in his boot to sell. So when we send him stock to put in his boot, we'll put it into the Sydney location.
Okay. So do you want to do? I mean, we'll just create a Sydney bin, and you can just scan the product and the
Well,
quantity.
there's Sydney, Adelaide. Is WA still? What's going on there?
What's that time?
WA, I think, is Kim. I don't know if she's still there.
Oh, I'm not sure, but yeah, we can do that, Jace. We can just create a bin location.
Yeah, but
SYD.
Yeah, but what we do is we map bin locations to Excel locations.
Okay.
So when you do so normally if you do a replenishment from the top level to the pig face, right? We don't tell Excel about it because there's no point. You can't do anything with it. But if you transfer it from a pig face into one of these locations, like we might call it, Simon's boot, right? If you transfer it to Simon, then we'll go, oh, that's actually a warehouse transfer, a location transfer in Excel. So we will actually do a transaction from warehouse 1 into Simon's.
Yeah, so you don't actually have to do a transfer between locations. You just do the bins, and in EXO, it'll do the locations.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So when you scan Simon's bin, it would then say he's got 5 of these.
Yeah, beautiful.
So, but it's an extension of the same warehouse. I mean, we really want to create a separate warehouse where it's actually a separate warehouse that you're going to receive. So you transfer it, you pick it from one warehouse, you send it on a truck, it comes there, they receive it, and they put it on a shelf. And then they sell out of that as well. That's the only reason why we would do that kind of transfer. Anything? So yeah, what I want to do next then is as soon as possible get access to Excel so that I can export the information and see what the data looks like. Got a few notes here about what I want to check. Get the location set up, import the inventories, and then get you to start walking around and scanning stuff to make sure that all the barcodes have been imported correctly and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And then once we've got that, we'll go through how to do those pick face changes and stuff. and we'll start the process of importing some orders and having a look at, some preliminary looks at how the process would work, like from live. And then at some point, what we do is we just turn on the interface based on live without any updates back, just so that you can get an idea, so the guys can start to pretend pick with it, effectively.
Sounds good.
And see how it all works. Yeah, so we'll build up, because it's kind of interesting. It's a different experience because we can't be on site and stuff, but I think it's working quite well with other sites is the fact that we can just do little incremental things and then you test it out and then you discuss it, do some small training on it and stuff, and then everyone becomes pretty proficient with it before you get to the point where you switch it on. Are there any other things that you want to mention that you think could be a potential problem or something we haven't considered? Or
Not really, to be honest.
I think we've got a good starting point.
Yeah.
Well, let's get some stuff imported. Get you the app downloaded and have a look at it, and then start from there.
Sounds good. So I'll get you, I've got a couple of things I need to get for you. I'll get you a list of our really date sensitive products. We'll try and do some batching with those. A video of our picking and packing procedure, a picture of our dispatch label, and a carrier list. Yes. So I've got that coming for you. And that's about it. And then I'll follow up with Vital as well and make sure they give you what you need to get started.
Yeah, it's just the IT stuff, really. It's usually the thing that takes the longest.
Yeah.
Because everyone argues about who's got to give me the right information. Every single time. Well, that's not my job. That's a partner's job. No, that's not my job. That's the IT person's job. Someone just do it. Eventually, it gets sorted out. I have to go through this dance every time. So, so hopefully I can get that done pretty soon. As I say, we've already set up the instance, so everything's all ready for me to go. So you just need to set up the users. Oh, can you give me a list of users? Set up.
List of users. Yep.
Just give me a username, whatever you want to call them, and, the names of the people really, and then I'll set it up so that they can do it, and good to go. Okay, I'm good. I think.
All right, awesome.
I reckon we're good. We'll just go to the next step, and then we'll come back in a few days, whatever, next week, whenever, depending on when we get the stuff out of Exo.
Too easy. All right, well, I'll get onto Vital IT for you. I'll send you through all this stuff, and then we'll be in touch for our next meeting.
Magic. All right, thanks very much, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. Cool. Thanks, Jace.
Cheers, mate.
See you, mate.